is Parasaurolophus only named this because the Saurolophus was discovered first. That is actually true. Fun fact, yeah, Parasaurolophus indicates that it's like Saurolophus. Ironically enough, a lot of people don't really know Saurolophus exists, which is pretty funny. Which reminds me of something, right? Apparently, penguins are named after another animal called a penguin. I think it was penguins, but, if I remember, we aren't quite sure what the original animal was. We just know that modern penguins are named after some kind of bird called a penguin because they look like a penguin. But apparently the penguins that was the namesake of the penguin ended up going extinct. So we don't even know what that was apparently, or something like that. I've heard. I don't know. I might be wrong, right? Yeah, penguins are named after the species name for the great auk. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Even more dinosaurs edited to better suit their names. Ankylosaurus, a bent lizard. Yep, that looks bent. Yes. Pachycephalosaurus, thick-headed lizard. I mean, it's already thick-headed. I mean, like, again with Ankylosaurus, I get why they did that. But with Pachycephalosaurus, I mean, its namesake is already, it's, I don't know, man. I think it's already thick-headed. It's a pretty bad example. Moving on. Crichtonsaurus, Crichton's lizard. I should write a book about this. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. It was just the fact that Crichtonsaurus is actually a nomen dubium now. Mape, shadow of death that get kills with cold wind. Yep. Just breathe. Carnivores, meatball. Yep, that's right. Allure Titan, Titanic Swan. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one because it's Titanic in the sense of the ship, not in the sense of its size. Okay, that was a good one. See, you can do better, right? Tyrant King lizards. Okay, I love how they emphasize that tyrant in the fact that it takes taxes. Yes. Archaeopteryx, ancient feather. Why does the Archaeopteryx have the beard? Shouldn't the feathers have the beards? Because it's called ancient feather and not ancient dinosaur? Okay, I don't know. Some of them don't make any sense. Right. Guys, what dinosaur is this? Oh, that sir is I think it's... I'm gonna assume it's Acrocanthosaurus. I don't know what the actual answer is. It's a do you think he saurus. It's an Archosaurus. It's the freaking Godzillasaurus from -1. It could be Acrocanthosaurus. That's just Godzilla having a big ouchie. I'm pretty sure it's a Dilophosaur? No, this isn't a Dilophosaur because I have the Dilophosaur version of this. No, I have that one. I stole it from my kindergarten. Yeah, Lopho casually talking about his crimes he did when he was 6. But yes, I accidentally took the Dilophosaurus. I accidentally, in quotations, took it home, and I forgot to bring it back. So yeah, I have this exact version of the Dilophosaurus. It's like bright blue, and it does not look like this. It looks a bit different. I mean, I'm gonna assume it's an Acrocanthosaurus. It might be an Allosaurus because Chinosaurs are usually called Allosaurus, maybe Megalosaurus. Is Hadrosaurus the second dinosaur named in North America? Wait, Paleoscincus was discovered in 1856? Oh wow. I did not know that. So, Paleoscincus is this guy the earliest dinosaur that was named in America? And this species, which is a Miocene mammal, okay, so this is not a dinosaur. Trachodon is Edmontosaurus. No, because Trachodon is a synonym of Edmontosaurus. That probably means that Edmontosaurus was named first, right? Troodon is from 1856? Wait, why did I think it was much younger than that? I did not know Troodon was this old. I know Oblisodon. I've seen that it's like some sort of tyrannosaur, but it was known from teeth, yes. I did not know Paleoscincus was, I did not know Troodon was from 1856, damn. Dinosaurs were from Old Encyclopedia's Inquiry. A graphic chart artwork of the dinosaurs one of the spreads. Individual dinosaur graph chart itself is a downloadable JPG or PNG file. I have no idea what book you're talking about. Oh, this one. Oh, wow. That's some retro-ass work. I have. Those look beautiful. That's some beautiful artwork right there. Oh yeah, remember when Zelitosaurus still looked like that? That's crazy. I think it was because it was based off, like, Heliasaurus, right? Because Heliasaurus has, like, big spikes near its tail, but, like, has a relatively smooth body. I think so. At least that's what a lot of artworks of Heliasaurus seem to indicate. I know that Heliasaurus, despite being one of the earliest discovered dinosaurs, I know that Heliasaurus isn't exactly the most well-discovered one. What's the deal with Ceratosaurus? What's the deal with you? Why is Ceratosaurus so inconclusive? Like, we don't know what he did. Some people say he was a scavenger, even though he had the most adapted teeth for hunting big animals. Some say he hunted fish, maybe sometimes. But I'm sure if that was the main source, food source, there would be at least one adaptation to hunting in the water. Others say he hunted large prey, but then can't answer how he competed with Allosaurus. I read that they may have avoided the large Allosaurids, but the sample size of fossils isn't nearly large enough to say that. So does anyone have answers for me? Oh, genuine question. Yeah, interesting. Let's read. Interior teeth of Ceratosaurus are actually extremely similar to the teeth of Baryonyx. Oh, okay. So we're to the point where some paleontologists even get Baryonyxin and Ceratosaur teeth mixed up with each other. Oh. Oh, wait, so Ostrophosaurus is a Ceratosaur now? Anyways, Ceratosaurus teeth are more associated with swamp/floodplain sediments. Oh, okay, suggesting it frequented areas near water. I would not say that that's necessarily an indicator. Mainly due to the fact that swamp/floodplain sediments tend to fossilize much better. It could just be preservation bias, but yes. While the interior teeth were baryonyx-like and probably well-suited for catching fish, the lateral teeth were more blade-like and similar to those of other terrestrial theropods. It may have had different types of teeth to feed on a variety of different prey items that could be found along marginal habitats. Allosaurus fossils are less concentrated near water sources, so they may have inhabited different habitats and may have been more specialized at hunting large terrestrial dinosaurs. Okay. So, yeah, hunting fish does not mean hunting underwater, yes. Like bears. Like, bears don't hunt underwater, yeah. I did not know that Ceratosaurus had baryonyx-like teeth. Huh. Interesting. But I think the most conclusive answer to this question is the fact that we just simply don't know. Like, like, a lot of people, presume, a lot of paleontologists, like, what we can only do is, like, basically presume what happened. We can only, like, think of what the dinosaurs could have looked like or how they could have lived in certain ecosystems. So the only way for us to know exactly how Ceratosaurus lived was to literally visit it in person, in the Jurassic. So, because all we know is, basically where the fossil was found and the environments of the fossil when it was, buried. So with that, we can basically assume some very, we can get some educated guesses on what it was, but the exact, like, details of the ecological adaptations and relationships with other dinosaurs in its ecosystem is just something I don't think we'll ever find out. That's just ultimately the answer, I think. Heck, we don't even, like, even when it comes to very well-preserved dinosaurs like Triceratops and T-Rex, we still aren't quite sure about the details. Did it make you sad that sauropoda and other long-necked dinosaurs couldn't possibly sustain a raised head as seen in all images of them and in Jurassic Park? Some people actually assume that they could. Like, it's been something that's been moving up and down, right? Some people suggest that the necks were, like, long, pointed forwards, but some people suggest that they actually could have raised their heads to a certain degree. Maybe not like a 90-degree vertical raise, but they could hold them at a certain angle, right, which is relatively high. So, yeah, because I think one of the theories that, at least when the original Walking with Dinosaurs came out, was that the Diplodocus couldn't raise their heads. That's why the Diplodocuses had their heads stretched all the way forwards back in the documentary. But nowadays, we know that the Diplodocus actually could raise their head, not a 90-degree, but at a certain angle that's, like, slightly raised. So, yes. It was, the idea that sauropods couldn't lift their heads was based on a narrow interpretation of joint articulation and blood pressure assumptions. But it's been challenged repeatedly, yes. So, There's solid anatomical evidence, especially the brachiosaurs, that suggests raised neck posture. The vertical neck debate isn't settled, but acting like the high browsing pose is impossible is just wrong. Exactly. Isn't the use of long necks literally just to reach high up trees? If they couldn't lift the head, then why the long neck? One of the theories of that was because it was suggested that they used their long necks to balance out their long tails, which was used as a method of self-defense. But yes, that's another theory. And, I mean, from all we know, that might actually be the case. I mean, it's not like a long neck has only a single use. It could have been used for eating, like, tall leaves, but it also could be used to balance out their long tails. Which then brings the question why brachiosaurs had long necks but short tails. But, well, there's some exception to that. Dinosaur shells, let's go! But yeah, you guys should show more of you guys' collections. I love seeing other people's collections. It makes me feel superior. Just kidding. Well, I do admit I have a large amount of dinosaurs. I got like 5,000 dinosaurs last time I counted, but the quality of my dinosaurs aren't exactly a high. Like, compared to like someone like Darren Naish, which has like all the Invicta dinosaurs, he's got like every single rare dinosaur ever. And like, I don't have that. I usually have some, I got like high quality. I got like Schleich, Papo, Collector, Safari, stuff like that, but none of them are like really rare per se. I just got a decent amount of high quality ones, but that's about it. Triceratops plushies, so cute. I love Triceratops plushies. As a kid, I always liked Triceratops plushies because they look cute. Yeah, very nice collection. That I love the Triceratops plushie. It's very cute. Could you please recommend me some scientifically accurate documentaries? I mean, Prehistoric Planet is great for the most part. I am gonna be honest. Despite a lot of people saying that Prehistoric Planet is accurate, I wouldn't actually recommend it as the first documentary to watch. If you want to see, like, scientific, if you're gonna be emphasizing scientific accuracy, I'd say if you want to go for scientific accuracy, what's a good scientifically accurate documentary? I'm gonna be honest. I mean, Prehistoric Planet is mainly, I could recommend it due to the fact that it's the most recent one. Hasn't really been a lot of competition in terms of dino documentaries, but if you're looking for something accurate, I'm not quite sure if Prehistoric Planet should be the one to go, considering that it has a lot of speculation, but the documentary itself doesn't necessarily say when something is speculative and when something has actually been confirmed to be true. They just usually pass it off as everything being true in the documentary. They never, like, specify that, like, the air sacs were speculative, or that the female Babaridactylus, the feminine-looking male ones, the way the Babaridactylus acted and stuff like that. Like, that's mostly speculation. There are educationally based speculations that are rooted in real life, but I don't know if that could be considered accurate. It's like, I would say scientifically informed, but there's a lot of stuff in terms of Prehistoric Planet, mainly due to the fact that Prehistoric Planet was trying to show a lot of things that most dinosaur documentaries didn't outright show before. So, hence, they ended up doing a lot of scientifically informed behaviors and like things like body, horns, and crest and ass sacs on dinosaurs that are more speculative than others. But yeah, I don't know if that's the one, if you want to go for educational ones or for an accurate ones. I would actually say that if you want to, like, start off with proper dinosaur, like, learning, I would recommend books first, and then moving on to documentaries when you actually have at least a groundwork of if you have a groundwork of scientific knowledge, then you can watch the documentaries, then you can kind of see which ones are more scientifically informed and which ones are speculative. But, for example, if I just showed up my friend who knows nothing about dinosaurs, Prehistoric Planet, I would assume he would think that everything in that documentary is real, which isn't necessarily true. Yeah, Walking with Dinosaurs too. Yeah, I am honestly looking forward to Walking with Dinosaurs. That's another one that is going to be released very soon. It's a good competition for Prehistoric Planet. Although, from what I've heard, the budget is slightly lower. But I don't think I've really seen that many speculative things in unlike prehistoric planet, so I think their depictions might be a bit more conservative than what we've seen on prehistoric planet, so maybe this one might be better. But yeah, it is actually going to be released, what was it? In next week, actually. So, yeah, so that means by the time this video comes out, prehistoric, that means Walking with Dinosaurs is probably going to be out, and yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a watch-along stream. It might be a bit crazy. And besides, it's for, from what I've heard, it's UK only. So, yep. UK superiority, I suppose. But I live in South Korea, so that means I'm not even considered human. Help me choose my first dino figurine. Oh! You've come to the right place, because I'm a professional when it comes to dino collecting, right? Let's see. So I think that's the... I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. Is that the Carcharodontosaurus from PNSA? I know that they made like 2 billion Carcharodontosaurs. And that's the Acro. I would actually suggest the former one. I think the Acro... I don't know. Maybe the spikes on its back, I think. Doesn't look that nice. I think this one just looks... I just love the chunk on him a bit more. If I had to choose between these two, I think it would be the former. Oh, it's a Maposaurus. Okay. The Acrocanthosaurus looks more unique. Okay, right. Oh, of course Dinosaur Reddit wants to go for the Acrocanthosaurus. Also, I would suggest going for the Maposaurus, now that I know that it's a Maposaurus, because we have a shit ton of Acrocanthosaurus models out there that are decent, but there really aren't that many decent Maposaurus models out there. Exactly. Maposaurus is more worth it. This guy knows. Arc Earth, he knows. Wait, why are people saying the Spletosaurs? There's just Acro and... Okay, why do people keep saying Daspletosaurus? Daspletosaurus wasn't even an option in the images. I don't know. I'd say Maposaurus. If you're gonna go for Daspletosaurus or Maposaurus, I would say go for Maposaurus, because I prefer Carcharodontosaurus over Tyrannosaurs. I think they look a bit more unique. Right. Carnot psych. No way Carnotaurus had a degree in thermodynamics. I didn't know that either. Well, dinosaurs edited to better match their names. Brachiosaurus, arm lizard. Therizinosaurus, scythe lizard. Stegosaurus, Stegosaurus, roof lizard. Yeah, did you actually know that the reason Stegosaurus was originally called a roof lizard was, if you didn't know, the old depictions of Stegosaurus, they thought that the plates were placed like a roof on their bodies. If you saw the most oldest reconstructions of Stegosaurus, their plates weren't actually like vertically, they were actually just sideways on the body, so that's why they looked like roof. That's why they called it a roof lizard. Has anybody else noticed that Styracosaurus is no longer popular in paleo media? No longer popular. Styracosaurus. Okay, sir, just because Jurassic fucking World doesn't have Styracosaurus doesn't immediately mean that Styracosaurus is now dog shit, okay? Like, I think, like, there's, like, so many other species of ceratopsids that never really had a big spotlight. Like, Cohulaceratops or Mercuriceratops. They didn't have any, like, visuals and documentaries, okay? Just because it's, like, the only one that you know of doesn't mean that there's other ceratopsians that you don't know of that need more media representation, okay? It used to be everywhere back in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, because back then we didn't have that many ceratopsians. Feels like Pachyrhinosaurus has taken its place as a Central Saurian flavor of the day for the past 15 plus years. What is he talking about? Not because, just because Styracosaurus wasn't really in a documentary, doesn't really mean. It's probably the second most recognizable ceratopsian, exactly. Like, maybe Pachyrhinosaurus has taken its place for the second to go guy, but just because it's third place doesn't mean it instantly becomes unrecognizable, right? I don't get his take. Like, it's not even like Pachyrhinosaurus was like completely unrepresented in the early 2000s and 90s, because like I'm pretty sure that, what was it, Land Before Time had Pachyrhinosaurs. Like freaking Disney's Dinosaur had both Pachyrhinosaurs and Styracosaurs. Dinosaur King had Styracosaurus before Pachyrhinosaurs. I mean, to be fair, they both appeared at the arcade at the same time, but the anime showed the Styracosaurus in around episode 8, I think. And in the anime, it was like episode like 50 something when it was introduced. But yeah, heck, I'm even sure that I think, what was it, like Power Rangers had a Styracosaurus before Pachyrhinosaurs too? This guy does this echo chamber with 2 Ceratopsians. Exactly. Like, what do you mean, Styracosaur is a stepchild now? Like, jeez, it's like the second favorite. I know it's no longer accurate, but I miss when Centaurosaurus had balls on his face. I don't even think that this was, like, a lot of people think that it was, like, just the way it looked. But I'm pretty sure even in older depictions, the Centaurosaurus was never shown to have a balls in his face. It only looks like that way because it's depicting the Centaurosaurus blowing up, like, air sacs in his head. If you think about it, yeah, it's really speculative for the time being, because, people thought that Saurolophus used to blow up its nose as well. And that's why when they saw Centaurosaurus, they also thought it could blow up its head too. Which is really speculative, considering that we've got Dreadnoughtus and Walking with Dinosaurs doing the exact same thing with its neck. But yes, like, those balls in his face, they aren't like made out of keratin, it's just his skin blowing up. And I'm pretty sure even nowadays, I don't think that's too far-fetched, even for modern depictions of Centaurosaurus to have that. Yeah, Pokemon Fossil Museum to be by the North America in Chicago's Field Museum. Yeah, we have that, true, yeah. Congratulations for everyone who lives in Chicago, yeah. So not only do you get to see a concert of my favorite VTuber, you also get to visit the Fossil Museum, yeah. Chicago gets, like, everything, man. Like, I think Chicago might be probably the best place you can be as a dinosaur enthusiast. Like, you guys got everything. You guys got zoo, you guys got, you got the Field Museum, you got Jurassic World toys. Like, what the hell do you guys not have at this point? Megalosaurus variants. I'm assuming that's alluding to the fact that the Megalosaurus used to be a wastebasket taxa? I'm assuming? Will the real Megalosaurus please stand up? I guess. Wait, was Carcharodontosaurus? I did not know Carcharodontosaurus used to be a Megalosaurus. I know that the Lophosaurus used to be Megalosaurus before its crusts were discovered. I did not know poor Ceratosaurus was a Megalosaurus. I know that Metriacanthosaurus and Ceratosaurus was Megalosaurus at some point. I just remembered that I fully read this gem from my school library, and I wonder if anyone knows of it too here. Yeah, this is the book that I literally talked about last week. We talked about this book. What was it? Yeah, William Stout, when they showed the William Stout trading cards. As I said, this was literally the image on the title. What is the most overrated theropod and the most underrated theropod? Overrated would probably be T-Rex, and the most underrated theropod would be something that even I have never heard of. The most underrated is probably Columbia livia, the common pigeon. I don't think so, mainly because we see pigeons every day. Megalosaurus is the most underrated dinosaur. No! Megalosaurus is not the most underrated dinosaur. Come on! At least you've heard of him! But when it comes to overrated theropod in terms of not by simply popularity, but in terms of like, I guess overrated in terms of within the paleosphere, I would say that the most overrated theropod would probably be the Carnivores. Like, I don't know why Carnivores is so popular. Like, maybe it was because of Disney's Dinosaur and then Jurassic World as well. But I genuinely think that Carnivores is like everywhere nowadays. If it's not T-Rex, I think the second dinosaur is like a generic JP Raptor. The third dinosaur that they add in is always the Carno. It's so overrated. I'm sick of Carnivores. New Paleo Indie animation dropping soon. Oh yeah, that's a trailer. Right. We haven't seen that. We probably need to react to that too. So this is the new trailer for the Spinosaurus documentary. I don't know if that's Beelzebufo. We see some Darkits in the distance. It's got a very Path of Titans-esque vibe to it, I must admit. The Spinosaurus, I like how the Spinosaurus was lurking in the waterfall for the Onchopristis, because despite what a lot of documentaries makes Onchopristis seem like an average goldfish that could easily be fodder for Spinosaurs, Onchopristis was not really something that you could easily be messed with. It's like a giant sawfish with huge things on his head. It's got like it's literally got a great sword for his head, okay? Like, Onchopristis wasn't exactly some easy snack in the river, okay? And I think the way that Spinosaurus here acts very cautiously when it approaches the Onchopristis is very nice. Although I would love to see a bit more struggle on the Onchopristis pod. So that was it. It's apparently this was also rendered in Blender according to the chat. So yeah, very amazing. Like, apparently, wasn't there like a recent Disney movie that was rendered entirely in Blender too? I think it was like some, what was it? Was it Wish? It was some kind of cat movie, I think. I haven't watched it though. Didn't have enough dinosaurs. Paleontologist just figured out how Archaeopteryx was managed to fly like a chicken. I think I saw Darren Nash retweet it. So, they identified how the famed dinosaur managed to fly. Tertial feathers located on Archaeopteryx's very long upper arms. Archaeopteryx isn't the first dinosaur with feathers or the first dinosaur with wings, said Jingmei O'Connor, but we think it's the earliest known dinosaur that was able to use its feathers to fly. The tertial feathers. Let's see. Unfortunately, it doesn't really show images of the arm feathers. It's pretty annoying how they literally say that, oh, Archaeopteryx, we know how it was able to fly because of feathers on its arms. Proceeds to show an image with the hands precisely cut off. Like, come on, guys. Why don't we hear more about dinosaur evolution within the same time period? So maybe I'm just not looking in the right place, but it seems like the only evolution surrounding dinosaurs that people talk about is pre-Triassic and post-Cretaceous, how they came to be and what they became to present day. However, the Cretaceous period, if the dating is accurate, was 80 million years long, longer than the time since it's been ended. Why do we generally act like all dinosaurs in each period coexisted at the same time? Maybe I'm just not reading the right material, but that's bugged me for a long time. Well, mainly because that pre-Triassic and post-Cretaceous, it was a time period where evolution was very rapid, mainly due to the changings of the surroundings. So it's just easier to show what happened before and after than something that happened like during Cretaceous. I mean, we do have papers that show Ceratopsian evolutions throughout the Cretaceous and stuff, but it's not really something that you can easily find out there in terms of like documentaries or games, mainly because it's not as easily distinguishable, so to say. Yeah, it's definitely the material you're reading, definitely. Now that Trudon's been reinstated, it's safe to say that the dinosaur train is going to be transporting Archosaurs and more through retirement space until the end of all things. Being dead's the longest holiday I ever took. Time to get back to work. Yes, good old Trudon dinosaur train driver, I suppose. Vacation has ended. Time to refuel the train and get back to work, guys. New Brachiosaurus reconstruction 2025 cursed. That looks exactly like the image that we saw earlier with the, what was it, the Brachiosaur with the long arms. This probably happens when you put a dinosaur in the egg. You know those dinosaur like toys that you put in water and they grow up? And you take them out and then they start drying out? The head and like tails and legs, because they have less rubber in them, they always dry up faster, resulting in something like this. It's always fun to see. Me, I should go to bed soon. Also me at 3 a.m. Why it sucks to be born as an Allosaurus. Yeah, that happens to me all the time. And I always need to like drink like 3 energy drinks before I go to class. And there we go! That was it for this week. So, yeah, what you guys think of this week's Dinosaur Reddit? That was very nice, very nice. I saw a lot of interesting articles. Greatly enjoyed it today. So, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for staying in for another week. Hope you guys will all make it out of the next week alive as well.